Okay, so by now, hopefully you've already seen the video on pitching kinematics. So now we're going to start breaking it down by dysfunctions on when it could happen in our pitching kinematics. So not necessarily what happens most or which one's worse, but when does it happen in your kinematics. So here we're going to look at a few guys. Again, just watch the foot, watch the hip. And remember, like we talked about in pitching kinematics, is can we get that tripod foot load? And then can we get into that back hip? You're going to notice not one of them is what we're going to call clipping the rubber. And we're going to talk about why we don't necessarily want to do that. So 3 good examples. So here's a small clip kind of zoomed in on his foot. So if you notice, he's going to place his ankle into a loose packed accommodated position where the tibia internal rotates on the talus. And you can see as soon as he has to basically push off his knee collapse. When he does this, it's just going to unlock the whole in that entire kinetic chain early, causing excessive collapse into internal rotation. This is going to lengthen and inhibit inferior glute max, posterior glute medius. This is going to compensate with thoracic abduction, compensated Trendelenburg to get over the center of gravity over the backside. This guy has the inability to AF, ER, and abduct because he lost the ability to load his foot early. Again, one more time. So this is going to pick up right where the other one left off. Already has collapsed down. Foot's not in that tripod load that we wanted. And so therefore, he has to clip the rubber, push off, and then that's where he's losing his kinetic chain early, causing that it collapse into internal rotation. So this guy, again, we're looking at the tripod and we're looking, can they get into the back hip? So if we watch him, this guy lacks AFIR, which is hip internal rotation, extension, and adduction, all limited with table testing. So this is a guy, we've done our movement, we've broken him down. Now, even when we try to get there, he can't get there. So he's unable to go from loading to early propulsion. And this leads to a pattern that sets up timing dysfunction because there's no pre-tension, so he rotates his trunk early. Because of no load at the hip, he's unable to ever rear foot during stride. And that means, if you can see, he's picking up that rear foot during his stride, and now he's trying to open up his back side, his front side right here, to try to make up for what he's doing. Now, we're going to look at one video that's a little bit longer than those first few of Justin Verlander putting his foot in a good tripod position. And as he puts in a good tripod position, does Verlander do everything right? No. And we'll probably bring up that in later videos, this exact same one, to talk about like what he did not do right here. But his early sequencing for his kinematic chain is beautifully put. He even struggles a little bit, almost starts to clip it. If you could see that right there, he starts to clip it. And then he knows that's not the right position for his foot, readjusts, gets that good tripod load, stable all the way up, gets into his back hip, comes down, delivers for him perfectly on time. And again, we'll talk about what Verlander doesn't do right in other videos, but what he does right here, it does a very good job of getting into that back hip, allowing his timing to come right through.